Hi guys, welcome to a new video. So in today's video we're going to talk about the possibility of Jeffrey Dean Morgan returning as John Winchester in the final season. They recently talked to one of the producers of Supernatural at an event, critics tour event, whatever it's called, and he said that it is not likely that Jeffrey Dean Morgan will be back as John in the final season, and that his cameo in the 300th episode in season 14 was more than enough kind of like closure, saying goodbye to the boys and like fixing things between them, whatever. I don't really think things were broken between them, except like the new writers kind of ruining the image of John. Other than that, he kind of like got his closure already in his original run on Supernatural. But yeah, I have kind of mixed feelings about this because I would have liked him to come back one last time. This one is not like 100% that he's not coming back, but he says it's not really likely, but we might still see him kind of like a last moment decision. Depends how they introduce him in season 15, if they will introduce him. I'll be fine if his cameo in 300th episode was the last one, but I would still like to see him one more time, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan always said that he would like to come back one more time in the final season and the final few episodes of the series, even aside from his recent cameo. So let's get right into the article and talk about it. So as you guys see here, article by Screen Rant, Jeffrey Dean Morgan unlikely to return for Supernatural's final season. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is not likely to appear in the final season of Supernatural. While details about the end of the long-running show are being kept under wraps, fans shouldn't expect Morgan to make another big return. Well, doesn't sound so promising. Morgan played John Winchester, Sam and Dean's father, in the first two seasons of Supernatural, arguably the driving force of the story in its early days. It was John's disappearance that initially led his two sons down the path of saving people and hunting things. Well, Dean was hunting with John anyway. He didn't wait for John to disappear to go with him. Sam is the one who was like going to college and, he didn't like that life of hunting, but it did set Sam off to go hunt with Dean, but both of them have been trained to be hunters since they were kids, so that's not exactly like a new thing. John would be found by the end of the first season, though the reunion would ultimately be tumultuous and short-lived, offering his life in order to spare Dean's. John dies in the second season premiere, although the show has often resurrected characters or found other ways to bring familiar faces back. Morgan didn't appear on camera as John for over a decade after his character's demise. That changed for the 300th episode, Lebanon, which saw Morgan return for a reality-altering reunion. Of course, you're talking about Dean making a wish of the weird pearls they found, whatever, the magical object. Reason why Jeffrey Dean Morgan didn't appear for all this long is because the actor is really busy, and they wanted to bring him back for the 12th season. At the end of it, Amara would have returned John instead of Mary, but the actor was not available, as Jensen talked about it in previous cons and even in a recent con. They originally wanted him really to come back at this time, but they had to wait till the 300th episode in the 14th season to bring him back. And, listening to the recent interviews, the guys already decided that the show would end in season 15 2 years ago, all the way back in season 13, and they haven't told us all this time until, in the recent interviews after they already announced the show's ending. So that's, obviously why they brought Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the 300th episode, because they knew if they couldn't get him in the final season, at least you get him really quick in a cameo. Get that, bucket list item off their list. And they already knew it was ending, next season, so that's why they brought him in the 14th season, 300th special episode. According to one of the Supernatural's writers, that reunion is unlikely to be repeated, as reported by CBR. While speaking at the Television Critics Association press tour recently, writer Eugene Lost Lemming indicated that the patriarch of the Winchester family read things up perfectly when he returned for the milestone episode. Lemming was also one of the show's executive producers, didn't completely rule out the possibilities that Morgan might appear, but felt it would be hard to top the exit already written for him. Again, he's not ruling it out, he's just saying that was awesome that we brought him back and left him again, and unlikely we'd even want to bring him back after that, like epic cameo or whatever. But I think J2 would definitely like him back anytime, regardless of like if it's gonna top it or not, doesn't matter. In Lebanon, the 13th installment of season 14, John is accidentally pulled out of the past and brought to the present, where Dean, Sam, and his wife Mary are still alive. The reunion is again brief, as John's presence creates a timeline where the Winchester brothers never team up to continue their family's legacy as hunters, Though reluctant and emotional, a decision is reached to correct the course of events by sending John back to his own timeline. The episode was heavily promoted and also included the return of Kurt Fuller as a debaucherous Angel Zachariah. By the way, it was a great cameo. He looks almost exactly as he did in the original run of the series, back when Dean killed him in season 5. So that was pretty cool. And we also got like original badass casts, better than the new cast we have now. Like season 4 cast, we got that too, which was cool. Even without a cameo by Morgan, the last 20 episodes will come with no shortage of surprises. Jake Abel, who's portrayed Winchester half-brother Adam, will be popping up for the first time since the 5th season, and that's sure to be only one of the ways that closure will be felt by the show's devoted audience, with the actor stressing the importance of a satisfying ending, and with even the CW's president reluctant to part with the show. Everyone involved seems to acknowledge the importance of Supernatural's final season. Obviously, that's like a given, doesn't need to be stated, but yeah, final season will be very important. We all know that. And the part about the CW president like not wanting the show to end, they allude to it once again here. President reluctant to part with the show. I mean, I am reluctant. I don't want the show to end, obviously. Even the CW president doesn't want it to end. And with the recent videos I made, there's a big possibility of a return in the future, season 16, or a movie, or both. We don't know exactly, but you know, I'd obviously welcome a show more than anything, a return of the show. A season 16 of the show, and CW president would love that too, and he told him that the door is always open. As for John's, unlikely return, like I said at the beginning, kind of have mixed feelings. I'm okay with the endings they gave him, like with a cameo in season 14, but I would also like him to come back one last time, at least in the official ending of the show in season 15. So what do you guys think of John's unlikely return of the final season? Would you like to see him one more time, or you're fine with his cameo in the 300th episode in season 14? Let me know down below in the comments. Subscribe for more awesome Supernatural content. Until next time, as always, no chick flick moments.
Get your brother outside as fast as you can. Now, Dean, go!
Dad's on a hunting trip, and he hasn't been home in a few days.
I swore I was done hunting.
I can't do this alone. We got work to do.
Hi there.
Hi, my name's Jennifer. It's actually a special.
It's like gin with Niffer.
Yeah. For Jensen. When Dean said he hated Mary, how did it feel to get to that point? Was it like a sort of like cathartic, but like relief for him? Like, has it been built? So you could tell it's been building up for so many years.
It was an interesting scene because for me, it answered a question that I had personally for a long time about the storyline. And I kind of made an excuse for at the end of the previous season when Amara says, "I'm going to give you what you need the most." And then Mom comes back.
I forgive you. For all of it. Everything. On the other side of this, we can start over. Okay? You, me, Sam. We can get it right this time.
Which season it was? Which season? It was the previous season. I turned it into you. Yeah, you did. It's not this season.
Wait, what season are you talking about? What are these flamingos for? What are we doing?
Where's our legs?
So I didn't really, it wasn't made clear to me why Amara thought that this is what Dean needs the most. And I kind of just let that go and just thought, well, this is where they wanted to bring the story and they wanted to bring Mom back and then they establish her and and until that scene, then it made sense that it wasn't Mom coming back that he needed, it was admitting to himself and his mother that that's that he had those feelings. That's what he needed. He needed to basically get that out. So it got really weighty when I kind of made that connection. I sat down and talked to Bob Aarons about it. He was like, absolutely. He was like, that's the way. That's where we need to go. And so, and working that scene out with Samantha, she was basically ignoring me. So I didn't have anybody else to like feed off of as far as energy goes, as far as emotion goes. So I just had to just dig deep and find it. I love Samantha dearly. I think she's just a beautiful person inside and out. And so for me to look at her with tears in my eyes and say, I hate you, was actually pretty difficult.
I hate you. And I love you. Because I can't help it. You're my mom.
But again, I think it was just one of those really in-depth moments that we get to peel back another layer of character that we thought we knew so well that all of a sudden now we realize that Dean had been harboring these feelings for so long and it needed to come out. So yeah, that was a tough scene to get through, but it was one that at the end of the day I was like, that really felt like a good scene. It felt like some good work. So I hope it was.